Hi, welcome back. Or if you're just joining, my name is Maya, and welcome to my channel, Cranleyplace, where I'm focused on Hermès scarf style, knot tutorials, and more. The winter solstice is coming up next week on December 21st. So in this video, I'd like to share a few fun facts about the winter solstice, along with some winter-themed Hermès scarf designs. Let's get started. First, a few fun facts about winter solstice. In the Northern Hemisphere, the December solstice is the winter solstice and the shortest day of the year. In the Southern Hemisphere, however, it is summer solstice and the longest day of the year because equinoxes and solstices are on opposite sides of the planet. You probably already know that solstices happen twice a year, once around June 21st and then again around December 21st. On the June solstice, the sun is directly overhead the Tropic of Cancer in the Northern Hemisphere, while on the December solstice, the sun shines directly over the Tropic of Capricorn in the Southern Hemisphere. Now, most people count the whole day as the December solstice. However, the solstice is actually at a specific moment. That is when the sun is exactly overhead the Tropic of Capricorn, which is 23 degrees, 30 minutes south. The December solstice can also vary. It can happen on December 20th, 21st, 22nd, or 23rd, though December 20th or 23rd solstices are rare. The last December 23rd solstice was in 1903 and will not happen again until 2303. The term solstice itself comes from the Latin word solstitium, and I may have mispronounced that, but at any rate, it means the sun stands still. This is because on this day, the sun reaches its southernmost position as seen from the Earth. The sun seems to stand still at the Tropic of Capricorn and then reverses its direction, leading some to also refer to this day as when the sun turns around. In the Northern Hemisphere, astronomers and scientists use the December solstice as the start of the winter season, which ends on the March equinox. For meteorologists, on the other hand, winter begins 3 weeks earlier, on December 1st. It's a common misconception that during winter solstice, Earth is farthest from the sun. During winter in the Northern Hemisphere, the Earth is actually closest to the sun. Different seasons are not defined by the Earth's distance from the sun. They occur because the Earth orbits the sun on a slant, with an axial tilt of around 23.4 degrees. Therefore, different amounts of sunlight reach the northern and southern hemispheres, causing variation in temperatures and weather patterns throughout the year. In fact, the Earth is on its perihelion, the point on which the Earth's orbit is closest to the sun, a few weeks after the December solstice. Most places in the Northern Hemisphere see their earliest sunset a few days before the solstice and their latest sunrise a few days after the solstice. This happens because of the difference between how we measure time using watches and the time as measured by a sundial. If you're in the Northern Hemisphere, the increased rate of daylight hours depends on your location's latitude. In the more northern latitudes, you see a rapid increase in daylight hours compared to if you're in more southern latitudes. Then finally, many cultures around the world hold feasts and celebrate holidays around the December solstice, Christmas being a popular example. So with that in mind, let's take a look at a few Christmas or winter-themed Hermès scarf designs. This scarf design by Dimitri Rybaltchenko was first issued, I believe, in 2004, and obviously focuses on the flagship Hermès store at 24 Faubourg Saint-Honoré in Paris. If you're familiar with Paris, this is in the 8th arrondissement, and it's known as being one of the most luxurious and fashionable streets in the world, thanks to the presence of virtually every major global fashion house. It also has the Élysée Palace, which is the official residence of the President of France, the Hôtel de Pontalba, which is the residence of the U.S. Ambassador to France, the Canadian Embassy, the United Kingdom's Embassy, as well as numerous art galleries. As a side note, Saint-Honoré Honorius of Amiens, is the French patron saint of bakers. Now, this is a Grail scarf in every sense of the word that commands ridiculously high prices in the pre-loved market. So if you own one, congratulations, hope you enjoy it. And if you're looking for one, be prepared to pay. Translating roughly to Snows of Yesteryear is this 90-centimeter design by Caty Latham, I believe originally issued circa 1989. Featuring snowflakes and sprigs of holly surrounded by winter skiers, sleigh rides, sledders, and more, this design has since been reissued in several formats including 45, 70, and 140 centimeters. The tradition of decorating with holly towards the winter solstice is common to many peoples of Central and Northern Europe, notably the Celts. They saw this tree, whose leaves remain green all winter and whose red fruits recall drops of blood, as a mysterious and powerful plant, one endowed with great healing potential. Some even believe that holly trees repelled lightning. One Celtic legend tells of two opposing twin brothers, the Holly King and the Oak King. The Holly King was seen as a giant bearing a crown of holly and carrying a club made of holly wood. He gradually assumed power every fall, bringing winter to the world. Then, at the winter solstice, the two brothers would fight, and the Oak King would inevitably vanquish his brother and take over ruling the world, thus bringing back spring. The roles were then reversed at each summer solstice, thus bringing about the seasons as we know them. It was common for Celts to wear crowns of holly at the festivities of both solstices. Now, because this scarf design is available in multiple formats, it is one that can be had at fairly reasonable prices on the secondary market, though they do tend to be all over the place. Originally issued circa 1992 and reissued around 2002 is this design by Joachim Metz, featuring ice skaters of yesteryear. Ice skating is believed to have developed in Scandinavia as early as 1000 BCE, the first skates being made from shank or rib bones of elk, oxen, reindeer, or other animals. It isn't known when the metal runner was introduced, but early Dutch prints depict skates with metal blades. Until the middle of the 19th century, the metal portion of the skate was fastened to a wooden base or footplate, and the whole of the skate was fastened to the foot with leather thongs or straps. A major improvement came from the United States in 1850 when E.W. Bushnell of Philadelphia introduced the all-steel skate, which replaced the cumbersome wooden footplate. The main developments in the figure skate after 1900 were the addition of the toe pick, a group of saw-like teeth located at the toe of the blade, which enabled skaters to get better purchase on the ice when doing certain jumps, and the innovation of the closed-toe blade of one-piece steel, which added strength to the skate and permitted a much lighter weight blade. This is another design that you can find at fairly reasonable prices on the pre-loved market, but again, they do sometimes vary quite a bit. The center of this mid-1990s design by Julia Abadie are several quite ornate horse-drawn sleighs or carriages. Horse-drawn carriages and sleighs became quite the rage in Central Europe in the early 19th century. This came about as affluent Europeans traveled to Russia, and in particular to St. Petersburg, where they would quite often fall under the spell of the city's winter splendor. These excursions sparked the imagination of Western European society, which started to commission sleighs in the most luxurious and extravagant shapes, even though they could only be used occasionally and for short periods of time during the year. Since we're focused here on European sleighs and carriages, I'll mention the Marstall Museum, which is a museum of carriages and sleighs in Munich, Germany. It is considered one of the most important court stable museums in the world, with a collection documenting over 300 years of royal coach building, travel, and riding culture. This is another scarf design that can also be found in the secondary market at relatively reasonable prices if you're interested. So there you have it. A few fun facts about winter solstice, along with some of the many winter-themed Hermès scarf designs. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, and let me know what you think in the comments. In future episodes, I'll share other scarf reviews, knot tutorials, and more, so be sure to hit that subscribe button to be notified of new videos. Thanks again for joining me today. Till next time!